You found it, the Wichita Wow podcast with your host, Ed Fox. We'll be talking to Wichitans about the things they love about their city and what they themselves are doing in their community. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Thanks for listening. G'day, viewers and listeners. We're back with another great episode of Wichita Wow. Now, you might think that Wichita, Kansas is this little sleepy cattle community because you watched a show. What was that show? Was it Gunsmoke? Was it Gunsmoke? You know, was it Gunsmoke? You know, Wichita was like the 1880s Wild West. That isn't Wichita anymore. It is a vibrant city with a great entrepreneurial culture. And I'm excited to have today as my guest, Debra Lee. G'day, Debra. How you doing?
Hello, good morning. Doing wonderful.
Well, that is great. So, Debra, tell us a little bit. Are you from Wichita originally?
I am from Wichita. So yeah, I've been here most of my life. Moved away off and on, but this is home. This is home base.
Right. Yeah. So Alice and I, my wife's Kansas girl, born and bred. I say Australian by birth, American by choice. And we've been in Kansas, still own property, still own businesses in Kansas since 1990, in Wichita specifically. And then 2020, we got an opportunity to buy a business down in Nashville. So we're down here building it, but we're still running businesses in Wichita as well and still have family in Wichita. So I love bragging on Wichita when I'm down in Nashville. You know, they're like, Wichita, there's nothing in Wichita. I'm like, oh, don't get me started, like how good Wichita is. And talk about traffic. You talk about Nashville traffic and Wichita traffic. I'll take Wichita traffic any day. So Debra, tell me a little bit about your history and what it is you do and what you're currently working on.
Well, okay. So I've done a lot of fun things throughout my life, but it mainly revolved around business. And so it makes perfect sense that what I'm doing now is and I've been doing this for a great number of years, 45 plus years, is I'm a business coach as well as a life coach. And I love helping people succeed. So I just kind of, ask questions, help them process what they're doing, pour in a little bit of knowledge. When you're as old as I am, you kind of gain some wisdom.
You're experienced. You're not old. You're experienced.
There we go. And so I just kind of give some people life advice, and they get to make their own decisions, but I'm just here to help them process what's happening in their lives, whether it's business, whether it's spiritual, whether it's personal. So we just kind of do that. And so I'm also a writer, author, blogger. So I love writing. And so that's always been a passion of my life as well. So I just enjoy helping people, and through my writings, that's what I do. So it's not like I'm a fiction or nonfiction writer. It's just I write help stuff.
Right.
So everything I do is revolved around that.
So are you more of a blogger, or do you have books that people can purchase?
I do. I have a couple of books that are published that people can purchase, and then I'm also a blogger. So 2 books out. It Is What It Is, But It Wasn't a Tragedy is my life story. And it's a very interesting read, roller coaster life in my past. But I used the lessons I've learned from my past, and I wrote a Bible study book. It's called Making Wise Choices, the Most Important Life Skill to Master. And so that is a 6-month course that people take from me. And it's learning how to make better choices for our lives. And so we use the 2 books together for that. So, and then blogging, I just blog, I put out newsletters. And so I just like writing and helping people.
So tell me, when it comes to your business coaching, do you have a particular niche or niche? What? Okay, let me ask you that. Niche or niche? Niche or niche?
I like niche.
Niche. Okay. I'm about 50-50 right now from people that I've asked that. So it's sort of like I heard somebody say the other day, you know how you have a Facebook meme? Somebody said a meme. A Mimi. I said, wasn't that the lady on Drew Carey? I'm like, I don't think Mimi will catch on, but maybe I'm wrong, but at least niche and niche is spread. So do you have a favorite niche in business coaching?
Sure. I love working with startups. Now I work with all kinds, but startups is really fun. I love watching people take their ideas and grow them. And so it's like it starts out as dreams and things, and then we can develop it into something. And so that's always fun to work with startups. But then I also get those who have been in business for a while and they're stuck.
Right.
Or they don't know how to take it to the next level. So I'll work with them as well. But my passion is startups. I think that is just so fun and exciting. And there are some times when people will come to me with an idea and I just have to say, we need to do some more homework on this. I just don't think this is a thing. So, and I hate telling people that. I don't like busting bubbles, but it's like we have to get real too. So
Right. Yeah, I always say, because I'm the same as you. I like startups. I like working 0 to 100,000 in revenue. I like helping those businesses. That to me is the most fun because you can have the biggest impact. Now, that's not to say we can't have impact with the 100,000 or the $1 million business, because sometimes just a little shift can see a huge impact. But it just to see that light bulb go on with an entrepreneur that's a startup. Because other question for you. Is a business owner and an entrepreneur the same thing?
Well,
trick question. I have an opinion. It's not a trick question, so I'm not looking for a right answer, but I am interested in your answer.
I believe it is.
Okay.
Because I work across the board with people. I work with MLMs. I work with, I work with people across the board. And even in an MLM, you can find a great entrepreneur in there. Okay.
Right.
Someone that understands business, wants to know how to do better. And sometimes they'll take their skills from what they've learned in an MLM and go start a brick and mortar business. And because they've learned a lot through the MLM. And so the entrepreneur, I'll say I had this happen once. I worked for this guy and he owned this business that had been around for 65 years. He had inherited it from his father. And then he had hired me to come in to help kind of do some things because he didn't know how to do them. And so he looked at me one day and he goes, I needed you years ago. He says, because I'm a manager, I'm not an entrepreneur.
Right. Reminds you of the E-Myth book, right? Where it says, we're either a technician, we're good at making pies or building violins, but we're not necessarily a good business person. So my contention is that a lot of business owners don't have entrepreneurial skills. So a business owner to me is every entrepreneur is a business owner, but not every business owner is an entrepreneur. Because I find,
I do believe it.
I find if people come from, say, corporate or something or inherit a business, they're trying to hold on to the business. They're not necessarily thinking of all the risk that they can take to grow the business, right? Whereas entrepreneurs are comfortable with a certain level of risk.
Most certainly.
Right.
That's the dividing line right there with most people.
Yeah.
And when I have newbies come to me, I say, okay, are you willing to do this, this, and this? And are you willing to do this, this, and this? And they look at me like deer in a headlight look.
Right.
Like, what?
You're an alien. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not willing to do any of that. Then you're not an entrepreneur. You're never going to make this fly.
Right. So, you need to find it. Yes. You need to go help an entrepreneur because you can be a great manager and you'd be a great. That's why Alice and I have been married for 33 years. And, she's the most wonderful wife in the world, and that's trademark. That's what I like to say. For those of you watching the video, I'll do the background flash that I like to do. This is the most wonderful wife in the world. This is a couple of years ago. I was a little bit chubbier there. But this is my favorite picture of us because this was the picture that the photographer was trying to capture, which is us just looking forward. And then as he's changing out lenses, she starts blowing in my ear. And I'm like, quit that, and he captures one of those. So that's pretty cool. But she is that sort of person. She is a great manager, a great detail-oriented person, and I have the vision of, and I'm prepared to take the risk, right, of where I want to go next, of the things that I want to do. And she's always there supporting me and helping me and saying, look, that risk is a bit too much for me, but if you think we can make it work, let's go for it, right?
Most certainly.
Sometimes it works.
Yeah, entrepreneurs are risk takers. That's just, it's in your blood.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of the other things that you've been involved with and you've started. So I'm a big MLM guy too. I loved MLM. So I started my first business at 15, built it to 18, and then saw Amway, the Amway business, which was the granddaddy of them all. And so what happened with that is, and g'day, Monty.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing, Monty? Hey, this is my Wichita Wow podcast. My Wake Up Call with Paul podcast finished at 11. And this is the 11 to 11:30 podcast.
Oh, my goodness. That's terrible. My apologies, but good to meet everybody.
Yeah, good to meet you too. And Debra Lee is in Wichita. Monty is Canadian, and we're British Commonwealth, me being an Aussie and all. So we won't hold that against him. But thanks for jumping on. So while you're on here, Monty, Debra, are you on Alignable at all? Do you do much on Alignable? Not familiar.
Pardon?
The Alignable platform, the social media platform Alignable. Never heard of it?
I'm not familiar with that one.
Okay, wow. So I've got some fun stuff to talk to her about. Monty and I are ambassadors for Alignable, which is pretty amazing. Monty, I'll let you go and we can catch up later. There you go. So, and maybe we'll edit that part out. Maybe we won't. I don't know. That'll be up to my producer. But you've done so with me with multi-level. I saw Amway. My folks had been in Amway and were successful when I was 13. And then at 18, this guy comes into my shop and he's 6 foot tall. He's normally outgoing and his head's down. He's like, I got something I want to talk to you about. You know, like they don't know how to prospect, right? And so I'm like, is this Amway? And he says some words that I can't repeat. He says, how did you get that out of what I said? I said, I've been looking to do Amway for years since I saw my parents do it. How do I join? He's like, is this candid camera? Are you pranking me? You know, I said, no, I'm serious. And so I go around to his house that afternoon and sign up. And I put 800 people in my downline in the next 8 months. And of course, you don't do it by yourself. You have people, right? But the things I learned with Amway, I was just talking about this with another entrepreneur last night. He was in an Amway group up in Chicago. The things he learned, he took and started a successful janitorial business and then added 7 other businesses to that. And he gives all credit to the system that MLMs teach, good MLMs teach. And so I think what you were saying earlier about that is very important. Do you have a particular, you're doing some other things. Were you involved with the Hive? Is that you?
It's been a while, but yes, I was there for a bit, and
Okay.
you know, and then when I started my brick and mortar, I had to drop out of the Hive, but because I had to go to work, you know, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, but you know, that's what you do. So yeah, I was there for a bit.
Okay. So I think that's when I'd first run into you, and networking and stuff was through that, maybe was when you were at the Hive.
Maybe. Yeah, of course, I owned At the Market for a great number of years. And so we may have met through that too. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So tell me about what you're doing now with your business consulting. Who, if somebody's listening to this and they're like, wow, she sounds amazing. How do I get on her radar? How do I get some of her help? How would somebody do that?
Well, they can email me. That's just the easiest way to get a hold of me. So email me. I'm also on LinkedIn, so people can find me on LinkedIn, but no longer on Facebook, thanks to some criminals. So I'm no longer on the Facebook platform.
That's what happened to my wife too, is they hacked her account and we couldn't get it back. And so she started a new one, but it's just a lot of aggravation. Do you teach people that social media isn't theirs? Do you teach them that? Because that's what I've been teaching some of my clients is they think a lot of their business comes from Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, mostly Facebook and Instagram, car detailers, flowers, cookie lady. So, and I'm saying you've got to get another platform. You've got to build your email list, right?
Right. So what I teach people is these platforms are great for funnels. But you need to make sure that all these platforms are sending people to your website, because the website is pretty stable if you're with a good company. So it's not like one of these other platforms that could go down, or you could be hacked real easy and lose them. And so I tell everybody not to put all their eggs in one basket. So spread it out a bit, and but make sure that everything is leading to your website where they can purchase or get a hold of you or whatever, and build your newsletters, because those email lists are vital as well. Again, you have control of those. So most certainly, yeah, there's nothing wrong. And I teach people the different platforms, but it's like, but don't put, someone said, I'm making tons of money off of TikTok and that scares me. I think that's wonderful, but let's spread it out a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I have like 10 different YouTube channels. I have 2 TikTok channels, and I have like 30 Facebook pages and groups, because I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket. Now, it's hard to manage all that, but the results are my email list has been built to such a degree that I can use it. If everything else was to stop tomorrow, I would still have access to my clients, which is key.
Are you a business owner tired of paying cash for everything you do? There's a better way to get what you need without breaking the bank. It actually avoids the bank. Introducing Trade Bank of Wichita. Trade Bank helps businesses reduce expenses by exchanging your business's used goods and services for what you need without using cash. Plus, with Trade Bank, you'll have access to a network of businesses eager to trade with you, bringing in new opportunities for growth and success. Sometimes barter is smarter with Trade Bank. Apply today at wichita.tradebank.com.
So what else are you doing? What's your favorite passion project right now?
Right now, my favorite passion project is I got a bunch of them, but I got a couple of books that are in the works, and so one of them's almost done. Another one, needs to be revised a little bit. So maybe I'll be publishing a couple more books. I still just love meeting with people and just pouring into their lives. That is the main thing right now. So I'm a little bit limited physically what I can do to a health situation right now, but other than that, I'm still very active. I'm still meeting with people, and I'm always amazed and thankful for all the referrals that are sent my way. So that keeps me pretty busy.
Right. Yeah, I could imagine. And would you say that living in Wichita, do you ever find people from outside of Wichita think of Wichita as this little small town that's sleepy and not much going on?
Yes, it's been a few years ago, but I remember someone from back in New York saying, "Is that where the cowboys and Indians are?" And I just had to bust up laughing. I said, "No, we don't do that anymore."
Right. Well, Alice tells a story. She went to Mid-American Nazarene University up in Olathe, right? And she graduated there in '82. But one of the kids in her class or in her classes was from New York, actually, and said, "So do they have roads that go to Cimarron?" Because my wife's from Cimarron, Kansas, out by Dodge City, she said. And Alice said, "Well, you can drive to Wichita, and then you have to take the stagecoach from Wichita to Dodge City, and you have to watch out for, natives and that sort of stuff, and the buffalo and all that." And the girl's eyes got this big, evidently, and this is 1981 or so. It's it's crazy. But I still get those questions about Australia too. Like, can you keep kangaroos as a pet? Do you walk them down the street like you do a dog? I'm like, people, there's internet and there's YouTube channels and they still ask, it's just funny. So what's one of your favorite places around Wichita? One of your Wichita wows? That's what this podcast is called, is Wichita Wow. So what's one of your wows in Wichita, whether it be food or just whatever type of place?
Oh, I got several favorite places.
Okay, we've got 3 that we want. We want 3 Wichita wows.
Okay, I can give you 3 that I'm there a lot. So I obviously love them. So the first one is Sojourner's Coffee House. That's located Oh yeah, Maple and Ridge Road,
Yeah.
and they have a wonderful mission to help veterans transition back into civilian life. And so when you go in there, they have their price list with all the items they sell, but it's all on donation.
Right.
So you just donate. You can give tips as well, and it just helps their missions. They're a nonprofit,
And that's
and so
Maple and Ridge, right? Maple and
Maple
Ridge.
and Ridge,
Yeah.
yes, in that
Yep.
little shopping center there. And I have a ladies group that it's called Ladies Circle. We meet there once a week, and that is a group of business owners, as well as our customers or friends or whatever come to this. And so we meet there. So we get our meeting there, and it's just a fun meeting. We just sit around and talk, but it's also helping this mission that Sojourners has. And so yes, we love to support that. And then I also take clients and stuff there to meet
Right.
too, on an
Yep.
individual basis. So that's good too. So
Yeah, it's one of my
another place,
favorites as well.
huh?
It's one of my favorites as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Another one is called the Sweet Spot. It's a little restaurant out on West Central, like around Central and Tyler area. And it's a just kind of a fine dining place, but it's not overdone. You don't feel like you're in the masses when you're there. So you can have conversation and things there. Nice food. It's kind of artsy food. I like that. The chef is wonderful. And they also have a banquet room. So if you have a banquet, you can have the room. And they do a Sunday brunch as well. They're normally only open in the evening for dinner, but it's really nice. So I like to take clients there. If I have family in from out of town or wherever, that's a place I like to go, just because it's nice and you can
And
talk.
Right. And I've not really ever had any trouble, whether it be a Friday or Saturday night or whatever, of getting a table. Some places are, I mean, it's not empty by any stretch of the imagination, but there's room. Maybe us talking about it, there won't be room by the time that everybody goes there. But, and for those of you that don't know where it is, think of where the old Amarillo Grill was, right there on Central, that is now the Blue Moon Catering. It's right next door. I forget what it was before the Sweet Spot. Was it
Oh, it was Krispy Kreme, wasn't it?
Was it
Isn't that where
Krispy
the
Kreme?
Krispy Kreme building was?
I think it's big enough for anyway. But yeah, you're right. It's like right around that area. So between what is that? Between Tyler and Ridge on Central, opposite. Is it opposite Bishop Carroll? It's just down.
It is. It's pretty much opposite Bishop Carroll, yeah.
Yeah. So great little place. Okay, 2 out of 3. What's your third?
The Learning Library, the Wichita Learning Library. Oh my goodness.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, it's the new downtown library. It's the new
Okay.
one. It's Second and McLean.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that's what it was called. Okay.
Yes, and it is phenomenal if you have not been. So they offer all kinds of services there. I use their collaboration rooms. This is where I teach my classes. This is where I do one-on-ones with clients when we're doing private stuff. It's not a coffee house topic where we're actually going through business plans or something. And so they have these rooms in different sizes you can get. They have a room that is a conference room size. It's very nice. They have 3D printing and an AV studio. You can use Chromebooks, laptops. They have a copy fax print thing, meeting rooms, tech classes. Outside of all the great books they have there, and then they've got like a patio for an evening event, outdoor patio, second floor.
And it's not expensive. The rooms aren't expensive to rent, right?
Most of the collab rooms I use are free.
Oh, okay.
You just have to schedule them. So you have about a week. That's about all the leeway they give you.
And how many people will fit into those collaboration rooms? How many people?
Right. You can do a 4 or a 6.
Okay.
In those rooms. Yeah. So it's just really, there's a lot of neat things they've done. They did take the coffee shop out, but they do still have the seating there along with vending machines for food and drinks. So you can still get that. So, and they have a ton of programs they run out of there. They also have a large room for if you're doing events and things. They also have that available. So it's just, there's just so much that happens out of there, and they always have some type of event, an author or somebody coming to do a book signing. So yeah, it's a pretty cool place. And I enjoy taking my clients there. It's nice and clean. It's beautiful.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah. So if you had somebody say to you, give me a elevator pitch on why somebody should consider Wichita as a great place to raise a family and do a business, what would that be?
Oh my goodness. You can't go wrong in Wichita. There is so much to do here. The veterans here, the veterans have lived here all their life. They're like, there's nothing to do here. Oh, there is. You just have to poke around. I'm just saying,
Right.
there's always something going on here.
Right.
And and a lot of it is great for children because there's so many different learning experiences like exploration place and our library. And so it's great for kids, and you can usually find a neighborhood where you're close to a grade school. So,
Right.
really close. And so it's a big city, but it's not big, if that makes sense. So, it makes it to where you have lots of options for shopping, for medical needs. We have lots of resources here. Schools are great. So yeah, there's all kinds of reasons why Wichita should be more on the map.
Right. Yeah. And cost of living, the fact that we can still buy a house there at 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. When we're recording this in 2023, I'm in Nashville looking for somewhere, and it's ridiculous. You can't buy a chicken coop with a solar panel for under $400,000 down here. It's a joke, and I think about the houses we've lived in Wichita, and, we bought our first house down by South High. And it was 3-bedroom, 1-bath, built in the 50s. Today, I think you can still get that sort of house for like 110. I mean, that's ridiculously cheap compared to the rest of the country. 110, 120. So
yeah,
I love Wichita. I love Wichita. I love the school teachers I run into are some of the best school teachers in the country. I don't think they get paid enough. I'd like to see them get paid some more, but that's beyond my pay grade. But and Exploration Place is a great example of just one of the cool things that we can do in Wichita. So I'm right there with you. Debra, thanks so much for being on the show and being one of our early guests. I'm excited. I appreciate any feedback. And folks, if you've got somebody that should be featured on the show, and don't worry, we'll have all of Debra's contact information in the show notes. You'll be able to find us on all the social media platforms and on the podcast platforms. We're on iHeart and Amazon and Apple and you name it, we're on there because I have the most wonderful producer who does a great job. She's my favorite daughter. She's my only daughter, but she is my favorite daughter. And she'll do a great job of this. But Debra, come back in 6 months or so and tell us about what's going on, would you?
I would love to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
All right. Have a good day.
Yeah, good day. Thank you.
You found it, the Wichita Wow podcast with your host, Ed Fox. We'll be talking to Wichitans about the things they love about their city and what they themselves are doing in their community. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.